guys, it's Liezl Jayne. Today I'm gonna show you some of my naughty and healthy recipes. I am obsessed with eating healthy chocolate and things like that. These are healthy treat recipes that I'm completely obsessed with. They're all completely gluten-free, dairy-free, and refined sugar-free. So if you have dairy or gluten allergies or intolerances or whatever, you can still eat these. A lot of people always ask me why I eat gluten dairy-free. I'm allergic to dairy and I have an intolerance to wheat, and I feel the best when I don't eat sugar. So that doesn't mean that you can't still have a few naughty little treats every now and again. So let's get into the kitchen and let's get started. The first recipe that I'm going to show you today is actually Rob's favorite recipe of mine, and also my family's favorite. And I've never actually shared it on my blog before, even though I've made it so many times over the past 3 or 4 years ever since I created the recipe. These are my healthy chocolate clusters. So to start, I'm adding 1 cup of dry rolled oats to a bowl with half a cup of desiccated coconut. I like to use unsweetened desiccated coconut. Half a cup of cacao powder, that's raw and sweetened cocoa powder, and you can do a little bit less, like about 1/3 of a cup if you don't like dark chocolate. Then 1/3 to half a cup of pure coconut sugar, depending on how sweet you like your treats. I have used 1/3 of a cup. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, a pinch of sea salt, 1/4 of a cup of unsweetened almond butter, and you can also use another nut butter like cashew, macadamia, or hazelnut butter. And then half a cup of melted coconut oil. To melt the coconut oil, I add the measured out amount of coconut oil into a small bowl, and then into a larger bowl, I add some hot water, and I place the smaller bowl into the larger bowl for a few minutes and then wait for the coconut oil to melt. Just be careful not to burn your hands when you handle it. So once the coconut oil has melted, you can add that to the bowl too, and then mix all of that together. Now I've already lined a tray with some muffin papers. I just used a wooden board. You can also use a tray. I got these tiny muffin papers. They're so cute. Make sure that you do this before you start so that your batter doesn't already start to set while you do this. So I'm just going to take about 1 tablespoon amount at a time and spoon the mixture into 1 muffin paper at a time. And I'll just keep doing that until all of the batter has been used up. I actually needed a few more muffin papers. This recipe always makes quite a lot. It generally makes about 20 to 30 clusters, depending on the size that you make them, of course. And once all of the mixture has been used, you can place the entire tray or board of clusters into the fridge and let them set for about 30 to 60 minutes or until they're completely set. And then they will be ready, and you can either leave the little muffin papers on, or you can now take the muffin papers off and serve them or store them. If you want to be super cute, you can sprinkle a little bit of desiccated coconut on top to make it look pretty. I like to do that. And if you're serving these at a party or something like that for guests, then you can serve them on a dish with some fresh berries. It's the perfect combination, and it really looks pretty too. These healthy chocolate clusters are filled with good whole carbs, good protein and healthy fats, as well as lots of fiber and antioxidants and nutrients. They're so perfect for a healthier alternative to store-bought chocolate, and they taste amazing, you guys. This recipe never fails me. It's definitely one of my favorites ever. And then also just remember that they need to be stored in the fridge so that they don't melt. And they're really good when they're chilled. The next recipe that I'm going to show you today is my healthy gluten-free chocolate chip cookie recipe. These are classic style soft chocolate chip cookies. They are like melt in your mouth soft. They are insanely good. So for this recipe, I'm using 1 + 1/8 of a cup of brown rice flour and also 1 + 1/8 of a cup of coconut flour. This flour combination gives the cookies a really good texture. Then also 3/4 of a cup of pure coconut sugar, half a teaspoon of fine sea salt, half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Then for the wet ingredients, 1 tablespoon of pure vanilla extract, that's 3 teaspoons, 1/4 cup of 100% pure maple syrup, 3/4 of a cup of melted coconut oil, and you can melt the coconut oil the same way that I showed you in the first recipe. And just mix all of the wet ingredients together with a spoon. Then I'm adding 2 free-range eggs, Just crack each egg into the cookie batter and then mix it up again. And lastly, I'm adding 1 cup of roughly chopped dark chocolate. You can also use dark chocolate chips, preferably unsweetened, but it's up to you. I've just used 100% dark chocolate that I've chopped up into little pieces and just gently mix that into the batter with a spoon. Now you can place the cookie dough into the fridge to chill for about 15 minutes, and after a little fridge time, the cookie dough will be ready to use. I've lined a baking tray with some parchment paper, and I've also greased it lightly with some extra coconut oil. Now I'm measuring out about a heaped tablespoon of batter at a time, gently rolling that and pressing it into a small ball in my hands, and then placing that on the baking tray, and I'll just keep doing that until the baking tray is full. And then I'm gently pressing down each cookie dough ball with my fingers to create a rough cookie shape. And then I'll do the same thing again on another baking tray until all of the cookie batter has been used up. This recipe makes roughly 30 to 35 cookies in total, depending on the size that you make each cookie. And you can bake the cookies in an oven that you've preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit or about 160 degrees Celsius for 15 to 20 minutes until they're looking slightly golden on top. I usually do 20 minutes. And then after baking, just leave them to cool on the tray for a few minutes before removing them. And then you can serve them and eat them. They're amazing, dunked into a little bit of unsweetened almond milk, fresh out of the oven, or another milk of your choice. And obviously, they're amazing on their own too. I could eat so many of these at a time. And you can store them in an airtight container to keep them fresher for longer. This healthy gluten-free choc chip cookie recipe contains good fiber, healthy fats, good whole carbs too, and is a healthier alternative to, your regular store-bought processed kind of cookies. But it's still a deliciously healthy, naughty treat. They're so soft and delicious. Oh my gosh, they're amazing. The last naughty and healthy treat recipe that I'm going to show you today is my healthy coconut macaroon recipe with a cheeky little drizzle of chocolate on top. So first, what you'll need is 2 plus 2/3 of a cup of unsweetened desiccated coconut, 1/8 of a cup of coconut flour, 1/8 of a cup of brown rice flour, 1/4 cup of pure coconut sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon of fine sea salt, and then the wet ingredients, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, and also 4 egg whites. I'm just adding the egg whites to a small bowl. You can use one of those separators to do that. I'm just using the egg shells to separate them. And once I've cracked all of them into the bowl, I'm just going to give that a quick little gentle whisk with a fork. You don't have to whisk them too much, just really a little mix. And then you can add the egg whites to the rest of the mixture and just give the whole thing a good mix. Again, I've lined a baking tray with parchment paper, and I've also greased it lightly with a little bit of coconut oil. I'm taking about a heaped tablespoon of mixture at a time, pressing it gently between my hands and then pressing it down onto the tray to make a rough cookie kind of shape. Don't press them down too much. They're going to be kind of a thick cookie shape. And I'll just keep doing that until I've filled up the whole tray, and I've also used a second tray as well. I'm just doing the same thing until I've used up all of the mixture. And this recipe makes about 20 to 25 coconut macaroons, depending on the size that you make them, of course. And you can bake them in an oven that you've preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 160 degrees Celsius for 18 to 20 minutes until they're just starting to look a little bit golden on top. While those are in the oven though, I'm melting some dark chocolate, the same way that I actually melt the coconut oil using the 2 bowls and hot water in the larger bowl. I have used 100 grams of pure cocoa paste, but you can also use 100% dark chocolate or 100 grams of dark chocolate chips, unsweetened if possible, but it's up to you. And I'll just leave that chocolate to melt while the coconut macaroons are baking. And once they are done baking, you can remove them from the oven and then just wait for them to cool for a few minutes. I know it's hard, but just wait for them to cool for a little bit. And then obviously the chocolate step is optional. You don't have to do the chocolate if you don't, but really, who wouldn't want to do the chocolate step? It's my favorite part.
and it really does make them extra delicious. Just take my word for it. What I like to do is dip the underneath of each macaroon into the melted dark chocolate and then take a spoon and drizzle a little bit on top as well. And once I've decorated each one, I'm just placing them on a board, and you can also use a tray lined with some parchment paper so that they don't stick. And you can just keep doing that until all of the macaroons have been dipped and drizzled with some chocolate. There will be enough chocolate to do this with all of them, but to show you some different ideas and variations, I've done some of them like that, and then with some of the other ones, I'm just doing a little drizzle of chocolate on top and nothing underneath. And then some of them I will also leave plain. So you can do some variations like this to make it interesting, or you can just do whichever way you prefer. And once you've finished decorating them with chocolate, just place them in the fridge for about 10 to 20 minutes to set, and then you can serve them. These will be amazing for a dessert or a treat at a dinner party, or if you have guests, and they're amazing for a little cheeky, healthy treat. They have such a good texture, and obviously my favorite ones are the ones with the chocolate on the bottom and on the top. So amazing. This recipe contains good healthy fats, good whole carbs, fiber, lots of good nutrients. And obviously just remember to store your healthy coconut macaroons in an airtight container to keep them fresh.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed making those naughty and healthy treats with me. I know that I enjoyed making them. And if you want the full recipes, I'm going to put them over on my blog for you. I'm going to put a link to that below this video. You can go check them out there. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure that you like it and share it and subscribe to my channel for more videos. And if you want to see more of this type of thing, maybe some naughty, healthy treats, more of these kind of recipes, then make sure that you give this video a thumbs up as well. And then I will know to make more. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I will see you again soon.